What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast episode of the To Be Real podcast, featuring yours truly, Feast. I want to say I appreciate all the love and support that I've been getting, especially from the last podcast I dropped. I'm trying to be more consistent as far as like still talking publicly, because this is still something new to me. But as the time continues on that I'm dropping, posting, you're gonna see me kind of get more into what I'm doing, and you'll probably see more of my personality come out as it naturally just flows in between all the episodes that drop. But yeah, happy Thursday to everybody. I'm hoping everybody's been doing well, taking care of themselves. And yeah, we're going to start off with the topic of the day. Topic for this podcast, I want to talk based on being okay with doing things alone. And that has to do with also just teaching yourself to have self-love. And what I mean by that is having a certain level of confidence in yourself, that no matter who's around, no matter what you're doing, you're confident that you can hold your own. So remember I was telling you from my last podcast how I kind of got comfortable. I was kind of getting comfortable being dependent on others. And what I mean by that is I could have really dropped podcast videos for you guys like a whole year ago, but it was like it was a team thing. So it was like I'm thinking, all right, maybe once everybody is able to come together in scheduling, that's the best time to drop. Even though I was ready to drop, but it was like I was still trying to wait on others. But I had to tell myself. Even I had a conversation with my older sis. Shout out to Big Sis. This is something you want to do. So at the end of the day, everything has to revolve around you. If you want to do it, you just gonna do it. Put the podcast, put the content out. Don't worry about whatever else anybody has got going on, because the show still got to go on. Things still got to get done. So that was well noted. And as of late, I just been getting more comfortable with understanding that and understanding what I want to do, because the results going to show regardless. I'm going to do what I have to do. But yeah, another thing I want to say is sometimes I feel as though we do get comfortable with depending on others, as far as like wanting to go out somewhere or doing certain things, as I told you about my podcast. But yeah, I'm going to say like going out, because some people don't really know who they are outside of the people they hang around. And because they're always used to this person being out and doing this with them. Like, for example, you might want to go to like a function, like a combo function or whatever, but you ask people, do they want to go? And it's like, if they don't want to go, you don't want to go, because like you don't want to go by yourself. You probably are not the best person to like, be in a public space and just speak to random people. That's probably not what you are used to, or you might have certain thoughts of if you go out. Like, I know it's for women, and men it could be a little different, because women it could be a safety reason. For men, it could be a little bit more just being, awkward, being a little socially awkward, even though that's also for women too, but they also got to worry about, safety hazards or whatever the case may be. But even then, I still feel as though you shouldn't hold back anything that evolves around you having the opportunity to chase what you're looking for. You might want to have fun. You might, you never know who you might end up seeing. Whatever you want to do. Even if you want to go to the gym, you want to, go out and like shoot some content, take pictures, whatever you want to do. I just believe what you want to do, you should just do it. Whatever that is. No matter what a person has going on or whatever, you should still do it, because at the end of the day, you are your own person. You make your own decisions. And I understand, because I used to be that person to never want to do anything without people, because I myself, I struggle with like social anxiety or going out thing, doing different things and having, certain fears and certain worries until I start doing it. I started going to the gym by myself, taking walks. Um, one time I even took, went to a restaurant by myself. It felt very weird, and it was like I'm having this perception of thinking like, damn, I'm doing this by myself. What if people at the restaurant looking like, dang, he just sitting there by himself, like. But it's like at the end of the day, when you start getting comfortable, you stop, worrying about that kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, it's regular civilization of understanding that, you don't always have to do this with a person. You could do it, with yourself, to really understand who you are as a person, what you like, what you might not like. Some people really might not understand what they might like or whatever, because it's all their mindsets, thoughts of having the independence. I mean, the dependency of others, what others might feel, what others might think about something. So I think as you get more into that and doing that, I think that it comes full circle of you. And also, another thing I want to speak on as far as like self-love, I believe we also can be too dependent on what others are doing on social media. And that's the reason some people can have it hard as far as like wanting to lock in on certain things, because they see this person doing this, and they're probably doing it a little quicker or sooner than they might be wanting to do it. And it's like it kind of gets them in a mindset of thinking that they're behind on the 8 ball, or life is kind of like not hitting for them, or they start to feel like they're a failure. But it's not that you shouldn't think like that, because that person's sense of direction might be different from yours. You know, y'all sleep in different beds and have certain different priorities in your life that kind of dissects what is happening. So in that case, I don't think you should really look and take too much of a consideration of what that person's doing. If you want to gain some type of motivation for it, cool. But it's like, I don't think that should halt your level of confidence in yourself and what you're doing and what you're supposed to prosper. Because what you're going to prosper is going to come full circle for you in due time. You can't rush the process at all. There's no shortcuts, anything. You gotta take it for what it exactly is. And that's why I think, sometimes looking at other people's lives and what they're doing, seeing people go on vacations or make good lump sums of money from whatever they're doing, it's like, yeah, like that's cool, but sometimes it could be a facade. You might never know what this person got going on. And I'm not saying it to bring them down, but you might never know. They might be getting strictly off the strength of them, getting to it. And hats off to them. But at the same time, you gotta focus on you and what you got to focus on and get done. Take your small wins, take your small gains. Every day is a different challenge, different full circle. You gotta keep running. You gotta keep going with the marathon. Every day is different. Every day is different. So at the end of the day, as long as you staying consistent and not being too much in your mind, because when you're in your mind about things, little things like that, it kind of stops you, and it kind of like you're having 1,000 thoughts, and then, it's slowly stunting your growth, slowly making you lose confidence in you. That's why I said I feel as though you have to have a certain understanding of who you are as a person and have that tunnel vision, whereas though you have to enjoy your own company to fully understand and grasp who you are. Because some people don't know themselves. Some people don't know who they are. They might think they do because of what they're doing or what they're told, because some people do as what they're told is the right thing to do in their life. Some people get told, if you go to college, you get a good job, that's a good life. But maybe that's not what you want for yourself. Maybe you want to make music, or maybe you want to, I don't know, maybe you want to, you want to make clothes, or whatever you want to do. It's like you got to do what makes you happy, and not what others think, or what. And I understand you probably feel that pressure from, it could be parents, friends, whatever they got going on. But like I said, find that tunnel vision and learn from yourself. You know, whatever you gotta do, just do that. So I think with me, I would say the best times I've had as far as like gaining my confidence and learning to be comfortable with myself is when I went through a situation, right? I went through a situation about 2 years ago, and I ended up deactivating all my socials. I really have just Instagram at that time. I do have a TikTok, but I'm not always on it. But I remember when I was deactivated for almost 2 months, and I feel as though that was the best thing that could have happened to me, because I was more so focused on, because I was in college. I was focused on getting my schoolwork done. I was more so focused on getting my body right. I was getting my mind right. I wanted to figure out, like, as far as like dieting, like what I wanted to eat, as far as like getting right, feeling a little bit more healthy, feeling a little bit more of like an energy boost. And I got to do that more as I just focused on that, as far as like, not like taking out the extra distractions, and carrying that on and learning, putting the research in. And as I started doing that, it was like I just became a different person. I learned that I can do it. I can do it, and I could put my full energy into it when I just cut out what I don't need. It's like I'm seeing different things every day. It's like, because you waste time scrolling pretty much a good 65 to 70% of your day, if more, and you could use that time to like look at other things like educational. All the stuff you put on the back burner, you could use that time into doing what you want to do. Maybe you wanna get your CDL, but maybe you say you don't want to. I mean, you can't do it because you work and this, that, and the third. But if you take the time you're on social media or whatever, if you trade that time for that and you just start studying and taking a little practice tests, maybe you'll be able to do that. Maybe you'll so it's achievable. It's definitely achievable. So I think cutting off the being less on social media, seeing what's going on, and I feel as though like going out and doing different things, challenging yourself to be in different circles as an individual, except with like a party. I feel like that all falls hand in hand, and learning who you are and building up your confidence, and learning that life goes on, and you can always reach what you want to get out of this world. That's why I say in my bio, I always say, paint your picture, or the world is yours, because the world is whatever you want it to be. You just gotta make it. You gotta make it happen. You gotta put all eggs in your basket. Can't nobody take no eggs out your basket when you put the time into you. That's you. When you put your eggs in other people's basket, you taking a gamble, because you never know what this person might do, or what this person might be the next day. They might not give two F's about who you are, or just start changing, acting a different way. Whereas though you kind of start feeling lost and getting a little confused by it. That's what I'm saying. You can't depend on people. Depend on you, because every day you can guarantee the opportunity to focus on you and get better. So, yeah. But that concludes with the episode of To Be Real podcast. I will say we will be having like other people on in due time. You will see other co-hosts at some point. Maybe next week you might see one you haven't seen yet, and I'm really excited for that. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, like I said, just have a lot of confidence in yourself, believe in yourself, and don't let no one ever make you feel as though you're not enough. At the end of the day, self-love is everything. It costs way more in life to have that than a stack of money, because when you have that, that kind of stuff just gravitates towards you. So yeah, like look at me right now, like I'm doing this video. I just wanted to get this video out to you guys, any way I possibly could. No excuses. Look at me. I need a haircut right now. Like, you understand? Like, you understand what I'm saying? So that just lets you know what kind of time I'm on. So yeah, I want to thank you whoever tuned in. I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, repost, and yeah, see y'all next time.